All right, what's up, y'all? Tuesday, Nuggets at noon, January 2025. I think this might be one I'm gonna ask y'all to share. I asked y'all to like, but y'all don't. It's all good. You might want to share this one because a lot of you guys, you are really absent-minded when it comes to understanding. A lot of individuals are really absent-minded when it comes to understanding the structure of politics. And so our president has abolished or is in the mix of getting rid of the education department, whatever it's called. And I'm here to tell y'all, I want y'all to understand the Department of Education. I truly want y'all to understand the gift. I truly want y'all to understand the gift our president did by doing that. I want y'all to understand the gift our president did by doing that. A lot of you guys don't understand, as I stated, the structure of government. So I'm gonna break it down. I'm gonna break it down like this. A lot of you understand welfare from the perspective of welfare from the perspective of a woman getting assistance. The unfortunate perspective of a woman getting assistance is everybody wants assistance. I know it's fictional, but Tony Stark showed you what a lot of companies want to do. I think that's why Elon Musk made the Cybertruck. I think the Cybertruck was designed for the Department of Defense use, military application. And so a lot of companies, they design products and they want a backing from the government. They want government sponsorship. And so I'm gonna take y'all to the perspective of this. I used to work for the Board of Ed for Newark, New Jersey. Not used to work. Let me say this. When I went to Essex County Vocational High, we, of course, I went to high school from 82 to 87 because I stayed back. And we actually went up to our Board of Ed, which was up on Eagle Rock Avenue in West Orange, New Jersey. It was a storefront, it was an office complex with, you can walk up, and at that time in the 80s, there was the director or the head of the Board of Education was named Dr. Stephen Harvey. I mean, Dr. Harvey. It wasn't Steve. I'm thinking of Steve Harvey, the comedian. Forgive me. So Dr. Harvey was the head of the Vocational Board of Ed in the 80s. When I was when Jim Jefferson was my teacher, he used to throw banquets, and that's how we learned how to cook. He was teaching home ec, and that was one of the things when he taught. We ended up throwing a lot of parties for Dr. Harvey, right? And so we was up at the Board of Ed many a times, and many a times in the 2.5 years that I was in special ed while attending Essex County Vocational High School in Newark, New Jersey. when we was throwing a lot of little banquets and stuff for Dr. Harvey, there were only about 7 or 8 people at the most working at the Board of Ed, which is school, at the Board of Ed for Essex County, New Jersey vocational school system. Fast forward to 2010, some 30 years later, I dated a woman that was working for the same said office that now had over 300 workers. When I went to pick her up for lunch one time, I'm thinking it was going to be the same thing. I went up, they moved down to the State Building in Newark, downtown Newark. But here it is, I'm thinking that when I went to go pick her up for lunch, it was going to be the same thing, 5 or 6 people. The elevator door opens up and there is 50 million people. Of course, I'm exaggerating, about 300. And I'm like, what's all these people for? She was like, they work here. I was like, no, I used to work. I used to throw parties, so when I say work, that's when my brain keeps going. I did jobs for them, blah, 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 blah. And it was only like 8 people. Why is there so many people now? I don't know. Then Governor Chris Christie became governor of New Jersey. And y'all can go back and remember, Governor Chris Christie lays off about 300 Board of Ed workers, teachers in the Newark school system. She was one of them. And that was like the 3rd thing that I told her mother I didn't understand that came into fruition. What am I saying? What I'm saying is every time something gets an allotment from the government, it's going to be in abundance. Whenever something is trying to get government qualification, there will always be insufficient. Hence, No Student Left Behind. No Student Left Behind was a classic example. No Student Left Behind did more damage to the black community than crack. No Student Left Behind did more damage to the ascend of black people than no Student Left Behind. Nothing did more damage than No Student Left Behind. No, it didn't. I'm gonna get back to that. So, a lot of you don't understand why Donald Trump is disbanding the Department of Education. So I'm gonna break it down to you like this. Then I'm gonna get back to the No Student Left Behind. The Department of Education and if you can listen to the words of our president, we don't need Washington, D.C. controlling all the school systems over the United States. We don't need that. That needs to be back into each district. In addition to that, a lot of you guys don't understand government with everything trying to get government assistance. Governors never get to do their job. If everything is trying to get government assistance, everything will always permit the worst case scenario to our government, to our president, to get assistance. If you're telling me no student left behind, and then You're telling me the school system needs help. The system is overrun, all this and all that. And you constantly keep going back to the government, AKA Washington, for assistance. You will always create a perspective. We need more teachers. We need more, you'll never ever, these jurisdictions will never ever fix their own problems. They will never fix their own problems. Listen to what I'm telling you. If everybody is on the government's dollar, you will put yourself in a position where you're going to need the money. And that is the big issue when it comes to DEI and when it comes to the Department of Education. The Department of Education act as if though everybody is illiterate, and every time you turn around, they need government assistance. They need government assistance. They need government assistance. Like I just said, there's a lot, and I mean a lot. There's a lot of governors not doing their job. So here's how the breakdown is going to go. It's going to go like a lot of states are saying to the president, we don't have no money, right? Our president is saying the reason why you don't have no money is you're not governing your state correctly. So check this out. I remember one time I was in Camden, New Jersey. I was putting out flyers. I remember I went down these row houses. Camden, New Jersey got a lot of row houses. I remember I went down this two block stretch. Out of that 2 block stretch, there was about 32 row houses on each side. Do you know that there were only about 4 houses that were occupied? The rest was abandoned. So, the rest was abandoned. All right. What has that got to do with school? All right. A lot of programs concerning school, a lot of programs concerning welfare, a lot of programs, all the school programs and welfare programs and Section 8 program, the voucher program, all those are funded by income tax. The municipality's ability to create income tax. So if I see 32 homes which can possibly get $5,000 a year property tax, but 28 of them are abandoned, where do you think that mayor of that city is going to get the money from for their Section 8 program? They're going to say, we got 10,000 people on the voucher program. We ain't got enough money. And then they're going to send DC, our president, the bill. And that is what our president is trying to stop. No, let me back that up. That's what our president is going to stop. And the most successful way to do it is cut off a lot of programs and give the responsibility back to the governor for them to create their own revenue. So let me go in here and I'm gonna put y'all off with a Schwarzenegger. I'll be back. Just gotta grab a couple of things. Let me turn this thing up. Close that window. Okay. So that's the perspective that a lot of individuals don't understand. When you look at these chicks on Section 8, if you could look at the bigger picture, if you could put a lot of things together, that is the same thing municipalities was doing. They keep their municipality looking like trash. They never built up. You seen those postings where it said the Democrat areas in 1985, the Democrat areas now, and it'd be the exact same picture, or if not worse. That is why our president is putting control back into the hands of governors. He's getting the White House out of the business of being a part of every step of a municipality. He's tired of everybody sending these checks to Washington. And what happened is, because he's the first president to do it, the reset is going to be massive. Like I said, I went down the street, it was like 32 row, it was like 16 a street, then 16 on one side, 16, then across the street, then 16. And I'm counting the houses, and I couldn't believe out of those houses, only 4 were occupied. The rest was abandoned. So, once again, where do municipalities get their money from? They get their money from taxes, real estate taxes. And if you live somewhere and they got well, these houses are owned. I was looking at a video where they said in one county down in Florida there was 17,000 houses for sale, but at least they're for sale. Somebody owned them, so somebody's paying the taxes on them. But when you have abandoned houses, nobody's paying the tax on them. This is why cities end up selling them for $1. And they sell them for $1 because they say, hey, look, we got to get somebody in this property so we can generate revenue. Once somebody owns it, then they're going to start paying us taxes. It's like Monopoly. When somebody land on your property in Monopoly, they pay you. If once again, if all these governors keep just passing the buck, Newark, New Jersey, oh, they need to pass the buck. Then they're going to take the money, pass it up to Trenton. Trenton going to pass it down to D.C. Trump is saying enough of that. Where does the Department of Education come at in all this? More so than not, when you look at the Department of Education, there's just so many layers of failure. As I stated earlier, they got this thing, right? No student left behind. And I said earlier, no student left behind did more damage to the community than crack. I said that, right? And it did. Why? Because it zombified the learning process. It did. It zombified it. When I heard that they're not teaching cursive writing no more, I said, wow, really? They're not teaching cursive no more. That's a fundamental, that is a fundamental interaction of life, being able to write your name in cursive. And they stopped doing it. And they did it because municipalities, once again, that didn't, and this was one of the things, municipalities that had a low success rate got penalized. They didn't get the funding. So this is why when they did that, no student left behind, it was more of a cancer to our community than it was anything else. It was more of a cancer. No student left behind was absolute ass trash. And so, yeah, the unfortunateness of a lot of people is they can't look at a lot of things and put 2 and 2 together. I'll be looking at things and I can say, well, no student left behind. Of course they're gonna have no student left behind, because they there's an agenda here. And when you become educated on the perspective and educated on the narrative, then you can see the agenda and you can look at the agenda and say, oh shit, this is what's going on, this is what's going on. So No Student Left Behind was absolute ass trash. It was an absolute cancer to the black community. It was. No Student Left Behind was an absolute ass trash, and it was only done by it was trading stupidity of black kids for government stipend. And your Department of Education said, we'll roll with this. We'll go ahead and go with that. So why would I want an organization that's saying, we'll go ahead, just pass everybody? Why not focus on the problem as opposed to saying, you don't say to teachers, just pass everybody so we can get a stipend. You don't. So that's why I'm glad they disbanded the Department of Education and putting it back into the hands of governors. I'm glad they're doing that. So that's why I say what I say about No Student Left Behind, because for years, a lot of governors ignored the fact that they needed to get their municipality in order. Instead, they said, nope, we'll keep the conditions of the neighborhood so it can tell the story as to why we need aid from the government. You guys got to understand what DEI and all these programs do nothing but get people to profit and benefit off of black people. That's the only thing programs do. Programs don't do nothing else. A lot of individuals be thinking that you know, this program is good for that program is. None of them programs is good. None of them programs is good for nothing but profiting off of. DEI did nothing but gave employers benefits for hiring black people. And when you give individuals benefits for hiring black people, there's a lot of individuals that got success based on a program as opposed to their natural skill. And then what happens is, when all these programs come to an end, you see the influx of unemployment. You see it now. This is why all these Amazons and all these things, a bunch of jobs where black people are infiltrated are the ones taking the biggest hit. All right. You know, this is why when I talk to a lot of people, or let me change that. It is almost a curse to be educated as a black person. You do know that if you know a lot and don't act your intellect, you're dumbing yourself down. And I can't tell you enough of how people don't act their intellect, and it's extremely hard to talk to somebody that have absolutely no intellect. It's hard. So when I break all this stuff down, instead of people connecting dots, they'll be like, oh no, especially females, because females benefit. Females will never understand they are nothing more than a double tax credit. They'll never understand that. They'll never understand that. They don't want to understand they are nothing but a double tax credit. Number one, they black. Number two, they get another credit for being a woman. So they refuse to understand that's the reason as to why they got all the success that they got. But y'all do know what time it is. I got to gotta get my scratch offs. Hello? Hey, hey, listen, I am talking to you on my watch, which has about at last check 10%. I'm gonna run in here and get my my scratch offs, then I'm gonna call you right back. Okay, all right. Bye. But hold on, y'all. You gotta get back. Gotta get back, little buddy. Mwah. Yeah. Gotta get back, little buddy. Gotta get back. Go ahead. Get back. Get back. So I got my tickets. All right. So it is what it is, you guys. I'm gonna, when I drop these nuggets at noon, it is nothing more than helping you and open up your eyes to a lot of stuff that's going on inside politics. And like I said today, and I always will say, go ahead, man, fat calorie kidnapping. And chick in the store looking at me, and she got a fat whale for a man out here. Unbelievable. All big booty chicks are the same, boy. They're all the same. They look at you like you should be looking at them. So that's what it gets down to, y'all. Honestly, I appreciate what the president is doing. A lot of people, when they talk about, oh, they're getting rid of the Department of Education, all of them is speaking on a lack of understanding government structure. They don't understand government structure. The way government has been ran up until President Trump got in there for the second term, the way government has been ran is an absolute joke. Every municipality is on welfare. Governors aren't doing their jobs. This is why, remember, he was in that press conference or whatever, and he was like, where's the mayor governor? The governor here? Yeah. She was like, he said, you're gonna do that. Well, we'll see. She said, we'll check with the federal government. He said, I am the federal government. I'm the president. And that's what happens. Everybody, it became proud to disrespect the president. It became proud to mouth off to the president. A governor is equal as the president. And it's not like that. And the unfortunate thing is, all of these governors of all these states have gotten on the nipple of the government. Y'all remember back in the day when Texas was going to recede from the Union? And that's when a lot of people found out, because they didn't know, that Texas is the only state in America that can literally be its own country. It's the only one. It has Texas. There are 3 electrical grids in the United States: East, West, and Texas. They don't need to be in the United States for nothing. Texas, it can be its own country, and that's what they wanted to do. And they was in the black. Not like a lot of states are in the red. A lot of people don't understand the mathematical understanding that it takes to be a governor. And this is why Arnold Schwarzenegger, when he was governor of California, he worked with the Democrats and the Republicans, even though he was a Republican. He worked with both. He knew they have strengths and we have strengths, and let's put them together. Of course, it ain't like that now under President Barack Obama and Biden. Everybody got delinquent. Everybody just needed government support. Everybody needed the president. Everybody needed support from DC, and it shouldn't be like that. And it really shouldn't. Section 8. If a governor decides that he want to have 8,000 people on his Section 8 waiting list, that shouldn't be DC's fault. Washington DC's fault. You know, you shouldn't get a bill in DC because the governor of New Jersey don't want to limit how many Section 8 vouchers he or she got to limit the program. Nope, they want to go ahead and allow everybody to be on a program. That's the next video. They want to allow everybody to be on a program, and then what do? Like I said, they send the bill to DC. Well, we need more thing. Why? We got 5,000 more people apply for welfare. DC don't need, that's not how it works. You govern your state. And like I said, and I'm gonna end it with this, a lot of governors are doing a terrible job at governing their state. Because like I said, they don't understand economics and the mathematics it takes. You do this, you do that. All these abandoned buildings, get them sold, get revenue start coming in. You could do it, you just don't want to do it. And listen, I'll catch you guys on the next one.